Hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB plus 3. Those plus 3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at plus 1 at the moment. You can head back in the playlist to find it. Today's spell is Moonbeam. Second level evocation, casting time for 1 action, range of 120 feet, components verbal somatic material, several seeds of any moonseed plant, and a piece of opalescent feldspar. Duration, concentration, up to 1 minute. A silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Until the spell ends, dim light fills the cylinder. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain, and it must make a constitution saving throw. It takes 2d10 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Shapechanger makes its saving throw with disadvantage. If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form and can't assume a different form until it leaves the spell's light. On your turns, after you cast the spell, you can use an action to move the beam up to 60 feet in any direction. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using spell slot 3rd level or higher, the damage increases by 1d10 for each slot level above 2nd. Man, I did not remember Moonbeam correctly. More range than I thought. Way taller cylinder than I thought. And then also the fact that the dim light only fills the cylinder, not the space around it. So if you did this in darkness, well, not the darkness spell, but like in the Underdark, it would only be a glowing beam and it'd give off no light around it. Just whatever's in the center, like a spotlight. Oh, so yeah, another you don't need to be outside for, doesn't need to be at night, you can just summon this silvery beam. Though that's not the end of the moon, or outside of the seeds and material component, the main moon analogy is tied to werewolves and lycanthropes, in that sense. That's what the shapechanger part is, which really hurts a shapechanger if you're trying to kill it, like a lycanthrope. Now, it would always harm it, so if you're wanting to save this person afflicted with lycanthropy, this isn't the best option, but it will knock them out of the dangerous war form. Big scary werewolf coming after you at this low level rank? Yeah, hit them with a moonbeam and now they're stuck as a human. Again, if it's a curse or affliction, you might not want to be hurting them on top of that. But this doesn't just have to be with lycanthropes, it's any kind of shapechanger, which is where this benefit comes in. Because things like a succubi, well, the issue is, when it comes to a lot of other shapechangers, like lycanthropes are probably an exception on that, where the original form is weaker, usually, than the altered form. Whereas things like a succubi, a metallic dragon, or any kind of fiend, really, usually the changed form is weaker than the base form, it's just kind of a disguise. So you're getting them out into a more dangerous state. Though you are revealing them, which I don't think there's any, unless it's an illusion spell, dispel doesn't work. So hey, if you're trying to expose someone in a courtroom, you're just gonna have to set them on invisible fire, which, by the way, never mind, ghostly flames. I assume that means silvery and white-wise now. I thought it was a beam that just started incinerating you and you didn't see any flames or smoke. But no, there's ghostly flames. 2d10 radiant per turn for a minute? It's essentially 20d10 if you get it stuck on a creature, which goes for any of these moving areas. Though, saying that, this is probably one of the exceptions to the moving. So things like Incendiary Cloud, you can move it, but it moves really slow, so things can likely run out of it. Moonbeam, however, has a speed of 60 feet. It does take an action to move, however, but this does mean you can focus down enemies. So it's not they make a save and they're immune to it, it's they have to make that save each round if you use your action to keep it on them. The issue is it's an action, meaning you have to actually, action economy-wise, that's not that worth it unless you are fighting just a single target and you don't have any other spells you'd rather use. Because hey, that's the other thing about the Warform or any kind of transformation. I am now realizing this knocks Druids out. Druids get this spell, but this knocks Druids out of wild shape. Polymorph as well? Oh, now I have to double check. Okay, so it says Shapechanger. And Shapechanger is usually like a stat or a trait on some of those creatures that can change form. So would Wild Shape count as a Shapechanger, even though it doesn't have that keyword? I doubt Polymorph would as well, because that's more an effect placed on them, and they themselves are not a Shapechanger. Though, in speaking of Shapechangers and what it targets or not, I'll leave the Wild Shape and debate down in the comments, but they have disadvantage against this. So that werewolf example or that succubi example, even though you might be putting them into a more powerful form, they have disadvantage on the save against this spell, meaning they're likely to take, well, the full damage each round. And speaking of that full damage each round and what we were just talking about, if you could keep it locked onto an enemy, sure, at its base level, not that worth it. If you upcast this, which I know it's, I don't know why you would, but you could theoretically upcast a Moonbeam, because if you did use your action each round to keep it onto the target, honestly, upcasting might not be that bad. If anything, it might even scale better against a single target. Again, single target. 5-foot radius! I thought this was a single space. Okay, so you've got some little bits to work with, and then 40-foot tall. Good Draconic Sorcerer late level. Would Moonbeam knock their wings out? Anyway, again, that one's for the comments. But, higher level. Casting this at 9th level. That's 90-10 for a minute per round, and you can spend an action to move it 60 feet. And even if they save, they're taking half of 90-10 that round. Radiant damage, which not many things are resistant to until you're coming up against Celestials. Again, though, that single target, and would you rather be spending your concentration and action on something else, is the issue. Because sure, if you have something that you're just wanting to burn away, go ahead, but in the middle of a big fight, usually utility and battlefield control is a bit better than just single target burning. However, due to that scaling and damage and the fact you can move it so quickly, it really does follow the, the dragging the Hammer of Dawn across the battlefield. 3 out of 10. Just because even around that level, but especially higher levels, just other utility spells and other larger, more direct, immediate impact damage spells are just available, and it's just action economy wise, you can even be spending time casting more spells to do more damage than just holding one Moonbeam over time. Sure, if this was like a highly perfect, efficient scenario, Moonbeam is technically more efficient, but usually that's not what a battlefield's like.